Right. Hi, Kelvin. How are you? It's so great to see you
Oh, yeah,
again.
it's great to see you, Mariana.
Yeah, I'm so glad you agreed to talk to me today. I'd love to bring me up to speed on where things are and who you are. Introduce yourself.
Sure. So I'm Kelvin Van Ryn, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Fritter Shop. We're a specialty Dutch dessert shop. We specialize in fritters, of course, and we make a bunch of different flavors. We currently have 11 different flavors, and we fry all of our fritters fresh on site, and they're all different shapes and with a flavor guide on the box to give
Yeah,
the experience to our customers. And
yeah.
so this started about we're in our 6th year now, which is crazy to say. We just had our 5-year anniversary, and now we're moving into our 6th year. And we started out with just one location in St. Thomas, working out of my parents' bakery, and we did a few local farmers markets. And with your help, now we're at 4 locations and counting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell me what was the big problem you had before you discovered the Franchisor Blueprint Experience program? I know you and I met a few years ago and continued the conversation, but tell me, where were you before we started working together? What was going on? What was coming up for you?
Yeah, so I really had this vision that the Fritter Shop was always meant to be a franchise,
Yeah.
and that whole world is just there's so many components of it, and it feels very, very overwhelming. Uh,
Hmm.
so where I was at is just thinking, okay, how do I turn this business into a franchisable business?
Hmm.
And luckily, we ended up connecting and we chatted, and you kind of told me a little bit of insight of where the business needs to be before it's franchisable.
Hmm.
Even that was just so helpful just to know where I need to be building towards. And then, yeah, we got in touch again about six months later, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then at that point, you thought, you know what? Yeah, the Fritter Shop's ready, and you're ready to
Yeah.
start franchising.
Yeah.
So we
You
we
really, you're right. You went away and did some really made some real pivots or changes in your business
yeah
to get ready, if you will. Yeah.
yeah exactly.
So so what did it feel like when you were trying to figure it out on your own? And like, how are we going to do this? How did that feel? Like, what was frustrating about that?
Just like I said, it just feels overwhelming because there's so many things you have to figure out, and you have to know
Yeah.
your business like so in depth. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of questions that you don't even know you need to be asking yourself.
Yeah.
So that was definitely some of the frustrations. It was like, where do I get started? And I want to do it, and I'm willing to put in the work, but what do I do? That
Yeah.
was really the big thing for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, after connecting with you and just getting a couple pointers of what direction I need to go in, that was already an immense help. And then,
Yeah.
connecting again, I thought, okay, now I'm ready. The business is
Yeah.
ready. Let's
I
do it.
remember when you called and said, "I'm ready now.
Yeah.
I took what you said to heart and I went and I did it." And sure enough, you'd done the work to get ready and here we are. So tell me, what was it like to through the Franchisor Blueprint program and
Yeah. I thought it
doing
was
that
phenomenal.
regularly?
Yeah, I really thought, you know, with everything we were doing, you were giving me a lot of work, which was great. It was a lot of work, but you also understood that I'm still a business owner. I run a small business. I am still involved in the business so much, and I need to be on the floor working still because
Yeah.
we're not a big corporation. We're a company that is still with we had less than 5 employees, and I was one of those employees. So it was really great to work with you being understanding. If I couldn't make it to a meeting, you were always understanding. If I had questions after we got together,
Mhm.
you always responded almost immediately and were there to support me. And that's really what I appreciated a lot, was just
Uh,
the understanding of what it's like to be a business owner and how
mhm.
your schedule can, you can have a plan for what the day is going to look like, but then an employee calls in sick, or
Something
whatever
changes.
goes wrong, things change, and then
Yeah.
you were always okay with it and willing to reschedule, and that was always very comforting for me too.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
tell me specifically about what you liked about the actual program, about the Blueprint program. What did you get from it? What did you take away from it and apply to your business? What was really like, what were like some of the maybe even the top three things that you really took away from it or knew was going to be what made the difference between you being successful on this path and not? Like, was there anything that kind of like turning point where you're like, oh yeah, I need to do this is it?
What really was nice is that it's broken down into modules, and I
Okay.
really like that because, like I said, it's so overwhelming to get started, and then to go from what the heck do I do to, okay, well, I'm sitting down with Marietta and she says, okay, here's your module one. Let's figure out the base of the business. Let's figure out what's working for you.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what your brand stands for,
Mhm.
and those things to break that down and really just get a better understanding of your brand, and where your sales are coming from, who your customer is. That was really pivotal for me to
Mhm.
understand, where this business is actually making its money and who our
Yep.
customers actually are, and then how do we replicate that, with
Yeah.
different cities, and with yeah, with building new customers, and
Yeah.
all of that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
making it so that you can scale and take it to another market. What does that look like? And you're right, that's exactly what we talk about. Like, what do we need to do here? How can we duplicate this and go wherever it is you want to go or grow your business next?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, that really stood out. And
Mhm.
that really helped me just get an understanding of the business,
Yeah.
and how we've replicated that. And for us, we were very successful at farmers markets, and now we're opening up at more and more farmers markets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So awesome. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you and what you've been able to accomplish in actually a fairly relatively short period of time and during some of the most challenging times we've ever seen in
Yes.
business.
Yeah.
I'm really curious, what would you say to somebody who is thinking of franchising their business or considering working with me and with Ascend?
Yeah.
What would you say to them? What would be your advice? Like, if you have got any tips for emerging franchisors, I know folks who are in that mode always love to hear who's gone before them and what you've
Right.
experienced.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, the biggest tip for me, and what really helped me, was just to reach out to you and just set up that initial meeting, um,
Okay.
because Marietta, you're very straightforward and you're very to the point. So,
Mhm.
like you said to me too, if you're not ready yet, you'll at least give you some pointers and guide you in the right way, and say,
Yeah.
okay, you're not ready yet with the business and where it's at yet. So maybe these are a couple things that you can change, and these are
Mhm.
things you can work on, and let's reach out again in 6 months and see
Yeah.
where you're at. And for me, that was everything. I mean, it's not going to be, your business isn't going to be ready to be franchisable right away. And that's nothing to discourage you from being a franchise,
Yeah.
but it just gives you a sense of, okay, this is what I need to be doing. How do I get here? And it kind of gives
Yeah.
you time to reflect and evaluate what the business is doing and how you can grow it. And then when you have that second follow-up meeting, then you already feel good when Marietta says to you, you know what, you've done what you need to do. I think you're ready to be a franchisor now. Let's
Yeah.
get you in the program.
Let's get going. Yeah. Let's get
Yeah,
started.
yeah, yeah.
Um, So what would you say? Would you I guess the magic question is, if you had it to do over, would you do this? Would you recommend someone do this program or try and do it themselves? I mean, I guess we can always do it ourselves, but
Yeah, yeah. I absolutely would recommend the program. The investment that it took for us to get started versus how much it's already paying out
mm,
is great to see. I mean, like I said, you don't really know the whole franchising world
yeah.
and what you're getting into. And with all your experience with it and just the modules and all the worksheets and everything, it just lays it out for you in a sense that it gives you a comforting feeling from, I know what I'm doing and I know what I need, what needs to get done,
Yeah.
to move on to the next stage. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend it.
It's what you're telling me is exact. I want you to be a really confident franchisor. You don't get a When you're meeting with those prospective franchisees, you don't get a chance to make a second impression. What they see and how they feel when they meet you, it's really, building that like no trust, that I want to be your franchisee because I know you, I can see you've got it figured out. You
Right.
don't get a do-over on that. So when you come to market and you meet someone and you're feeling that way, my job is to help you be a more confident franchisor with
Mhm.
a plan. And it sounds like you've done just that. I mean, you're already growing, you've already got franchisees, you know,
Yeah.
very quickly, efficiently, and easily in less than a year, actually, probably
Yeah.
even a
Yeah.
lot less than a year, especially given these times.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Um, Thanks for joining me today, Calvin. And I'm really excited for you. I'm excited for the Fritter Shop. I'm excited to see where things go. And I know that you and I will probably continue to work together. And I'm really excited to see where that could go too.
Yeah, absolutely. Marietta, thank you for having me. And what I
You're so
do want to
welcome.
say too is exactly what you were just saying, that we'll continue to work together. And that's been so valuable too. Of even
Mhm.
though I'm now done the program, you're
Yeah,
still taking the time to meet with me and
yeah,
help me out in any way that you can, any connections you have. And
yeah,
you know, that has been tremendously valuable too. Just to know that if I really need to ask you a question, you're there for me.
yeah.
And that's been great too, just to have built that relationship with you. So
Aw,
thank you too, Mariana.
you are so welcome, Kelvin. All
All
the
right.
best, and I know we'll be meeting soon. Thanks for watching, everyone.